Redlands, California, Motel 6. Redlands, California, Motel 6, Colton Avenue. I'll be going on doing several reviews on these businesses, on security, and several other agencies that's been involved with illegally surveilling and stalking my son and me. I'll be submitting actual footage, data, and I'm attempting to file online RICO case today. I've made contact They are surveilling, tapping on phone calls at Motel 6 in Redlands, California on their landline. They're also tapping onto my device. And they have, as I'm walking in the Coco's parking lot in real time, these things look like they're plausible, but I've caught several occasions people showing up and following me and my son around, looking at us, look like they're typing, taking notes, all those things to disguise their behavior. This is a criminal offense. This is a federal offense. We have not been charged. There's codes involved with this. There's money involved. And these are the organizations that are participating in it. They are attempting to stop me from being able to stabilize and rebuild my life in order to perpetuate keeping the fact that they have stolen money from me and my son. They broke into mail, they've stolen inheritances, and they have paid several people to keep it on a hush. They have split that. That's one of the motivations of what they're doing. They track my movement, and when they see me move, then they start hoovering around. If they don't see my son with me, they start hoovering around where I am, where he is. They start doing their spell work for the cult that's involved in this. But then they cue the Fusion Center employees that they have staying at these motel rooms or frequenting these motel rooms, and to look like it's random behavior, they'll have a random smoker, a random somebody, always seeming to happen when they see my movement, to come around and then attempt to mess with my son. And then they have some people strategically placed around to just so happen to be able to record that behavior with an attempt to make me appear to be inept, negligent, while they orchestrate violating a disabled young man. They send people to purposefully pretend like they so dumb that they can't tell by way of conversation with him. Anybody with 2% of an IQ would be able to pick up that he possibly is not going to be able to have an adult on that level. Not only that, I communicate everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, I've made contact and communication very thoroughly with all of the authorities and the leaders of these various places. They're fully in the know. But as I said, they are orchestrating, trying to destabilize me. They're messing with resources. They mess with the phone so that it I could miss a possible opportunity. As I attempt to remedy my life, these people are going behind me lying. And I'm going to say it again, lying, saying that I'm crazy, I'm unstable, I'm stressed out because my son is disabled, and I'm just unhappy, and I'm just stressed out about money problems. As I spoke with IHP today to file an official complaint, official grievance that I will be using for my RICO case. As I talked to her about some of the things that they're doing that looks like process, dangling, playing with me and my time, me and my son's life, trying to basically force me coercively into a dire situation, acting as if they're going to help, dangling a couple of little pieces of help, and then strategically, all of a sudden, okay, they're trying to destabilize me intentionally. All we need is 3 occurrences to prove a RICO case. 3. If you can catch a pattern of people seeming to try to unnecessarily cause you stress, utilizing military-grade psychological warfare tactics, which includes and is not limited to driving in a certain manner intentionally around you, revving up engines, parking in odd ways to show you that they're pointing at you and their lights are on and they're flashing their lights, and then they're looking down at their cameras or their phones. Thugs, ex-cons with their tats hoovering around where your room is, or when your kid come outside all of a sudden. These are intentional things to cause unrest for me and unrest for my son. They're lying to these people. And I really don't know and care who and all that is going around doing it. There are a bunch of lowlifes involved with this, from high to low end. There's corrupt security guard companies that are involved. You have people coming to Motel 6 on Colton Avenue in Tennessee. I'm going to say it again. Motel 6 on Colton Avenue in Tennessee in Teslas and Mercedes Benz. And we're not talking about the owners. We're not talking about the owners before somebody even attempt to fucking go there. What kind, who with a Tesla and a Mercedes-Benz, is gonna rent a room at a Motel 6? Even for whatever reason. They can go across the street to Aries Hotel. And I'm almost 100% certain that some of them are over there. I went to the liquor store on Tennessee and Colton Avenue last night. See, I'm going to tell about the odd and unusual behavior that people don't see and they don't believe, because these people going around lying, claiming. As I was telling the IHP lady, it's like most people going through a crisis, they are dealing with the stressors of, they having a financial difficulty or a loss, or let's say, like if they have a disabled child. Okay, so that's a standard, that's a standard stressor. But if you want to add that to what everyone out here is taking for granted every day of their life. I'm guilty of this too. Because up until you no longer have that, you do take that for granted every day of your life. You get up, you shower, you go to work, or you go shopping, or you go work out, you take a jog, you get into your car. Okay? And there you don't have to be hypervigilant. People aren't poisoning you. People aren't coming throwing stuff in you and your kid's face. People aren't coming chanting weird phrases or coming up to your kid just when they see you turn your back for 5 minutes. Just when they see you go take out the trash. Just when they see, then all of a sudden every crackhead that's in the vicinity manages to manifest to come ask your disabled child for a fucking cigarette. Or the company, their staff, all of a sudden just so happen to have to do all sorts of maintenance, and they gotta blow leaves, they have to fucking, flicker lights, ring bells, alarms, all of a sudden. And all these things always look like standard business. And this is why no one believes the target. And this is what Ken and Barbie, the corruption that's involved, this is what they go around claiming as they show video footage to people who are ignorant, video footage that they manufactured by antagonizing and torturing the target and their family, and just so happened they had the just right raggedy motherfucker in space to record it and report and say, see, this person is irrational. See, they're not all there. See, they're just this stressed out, undersexed, overexpended person that's looking for attention, or looking for an easy way out, or looking for a free ride, looking to evade responsibility. Okay? That's what they're doing. That's what they're going around telling these people as they convince them to partake in a felony. Because what they're doing is a felony. As they attempt to go around claiming that I am either some kind of criminal, or that I am some kind of danger, or that I am some kind of two-bit hustler and what you call it? As they attempt to go around and do that, they convince these people to then participate in felony. And then all they do is dangle a few carrots, and those carrots is a promotion at their job, the carrots is maybe a bill covered, maybe some equipment. The carrots, is they're going to send business their way. So they're going, because they're going to give all of the Fusion Center employees motel vouchers. The ones who can't afford, the ones that's on that low budget side. They're trying to stop me from stabilizing. They are trying to force homelessness by interfering with what I'm doing behind the scene. And they're doing this in multiple different ways. They are doing this via the cult and their cult ritual abuse, so they're spell casting onto these various entities, organizations, agencies, and anyone that I reach out to, even individually, because they are on an app and they are illegally surveilling me. Now, For those of you who think this is conspiracy theory, for those of you who think this is just somebody making up shit because they mad, maybe take 2 seconds and don't be a fucking monkey. Maybe take 2 seconds and type in to Google. Good old search engine bars. And start doing your own personal research before you jump to conclusions and opinions about something you do not have knowledge about. I have several people that don't like me. See, before you jump to the conclusion or you jump to the notion to say, who are you, Brandy? Who are you, Bloomy, to have anybody to want to invest so much time and energy and resources to follow you and your son around wherever you go? Who are you? Well, first and foremost, you got to get your head out the cloud and realize that there is corrupt cult systems that believe in human sacrifice. Some of which is what is happening. They are attempting to sacrifice my son and me. And a part of that is by way of torture and spell work and sabotaging of our lives to get us destabilized so they can continue to harvest off of us, make money, and keep their dark secrets secret. So one of the motivational factors is that I am proof of the truth. So though I may not be much to most of you out there, I may not be somebody in your esteem worth all of that, it's happening. And it's happening right now. And they've been showing their ass and showing out more and more each day, slipping up and making their behavior more and more obvious each fucking day. Because they're smug and narcissistic. They're wanting reaction. They're wanting me flipping out. They're wanting me flailing about all those things so they can send their Fusion Center employees to sit up and illegally watch and illegally take notes as they continue to manipulate and pay these lowlifes to do it. They go to these various motels and these hotels and they pay these managers and their staff to do it, to strategically put us in certain places and just turn a blind eye and have it all look like it's just life. Routine cleaning, routine maintenance, routine randos that just rented a room next to you and just so happen to need to walk in circles 5 times. And they ain't doing no exercise. Always creating an issue. See, that's all we need is 3. All I need is 3. And I've got more than that for 3 different entities. All I need is 3 occurrences to prove their intent and pattern. That's all I need, and that's what I got. Either today or tomorrow morning. I think I found something out that may be useful in terms of actually filing for RICO. Because at first, my goal was to stabilize, get me and my son somewhere stabilized, and try to remedy my life. And as I was speaking to somebody today, and listen, I'm gonna tell you straight up, do I know whether or not that person is involved? No. Because again, people aren't all there. They will talk to you as if they care and be the same ones that's an informant. Am I saying that is true with this person I talked to earlier? Not necessarily. Okay? Not necessarily. But as I was explaining to him, as I explained to IHP when I had to, they take you through these portals if you want to do official stuff and not just like complain when you want to report data, facts, events, times, and stamps, names, and all those things. I submitted an official grievance, but guess what? These individuals knew full well that that would happen. And their intention behind doing that is once again to tie up processes. Because again, they basically, the manager, the pro manager was rude, dismissive, uninterested, and assumptions. Intentionally, they evaded questions. Their worker lied, and they wasted 2 hours of my time for their bureaucracy so their little motherfucker can have some practice and get some information and practice with doing an intake. And to get intel on me while knowing full well. And as I communicate effectively, I'm going to tell you, this is what I was telling this person. I said, this is unnatural, and it is certainly not for lack of diligence, and it's certainly not just life and processes. This is unnatural. Because when you have somebody who communicates to the degree in which I do from the beginning with people, there's no excuse. So when I had this intake with IHP, the approved agency, which is Lighthouse, in the name of me and my son, see, they want so badly to make me seem like I don't want to be responsible, or I don't ask the right questions, or I don't know what I'm doing, or, you know, I'm inept. As in advance, I told all these agencies what we were facing last Friday. Everybody who's been involved knew the whole shebang bang shit from the very beginning, and I guarantee you through it all, because they requested to know so much information in advance of my goings abouts to and fro's and what my plans were utilizing community action partnership. Which also can give you the clue about how they are able to get ahead of it to interfere what your plans are. So, still trying to keep my spirits up and trying to not be rude and all those things to the worker that they had to come out, that they switched up at the last minute. She was new. And pushing this intake, this shit ton of papers, my blood type, my last period, whether or not God could, I'm being a little funny with that, but very, very, very invasive and involved, all to not answer much for me. So I believe that these people are taking advantage of people's vulnerable situations. Oh, you can ask further questions when you talk to the the program, but you didn't already sign the paperwork. I even said that in it. I said, yeah, but you didn't sign. Ideally, you're supposed to be able to ask all the questions that you want to ask and get all the answers that you want to get before you sign anything. However, I appeased them. And I said, okay. I said, very well. I said, well, time is of the essence. I said, you have to understand. I am being taken in circles. I can't control whether or not folks are integral or mean what they say and try to act like there's miscommunication and confusion. I can't control that. So, because it's me and my son that's the one facing the situation, do you mind texting your boss and asking her if, since you all are saying you don't supply this, that this program that you're here and offering is to do with that, maybe your boss, because most cases, supervisors and bosses may know something that you don't, but they also may have outside resources that could assist while I communicate to this intake worker. She sat there across the table. And why am I telling all this? Because it's a part of the RICO case. And this is a part of the things that these people are doing to create unnecessary fines, fees, costs, and delays intentionally. And all you need is enough patterns to prove that it is. And that's 3. So she sat there and she could have possibly just lied through her teeth, just to get me to do the little paperwork. Because my communication with her was this. I said, could you do that? Do you mind? I said, because that way, by the time we're done with the intake assessment, if you've already given that information to her, if there is anything else that could be done, she would have already looked into it versus, you ain't got to be a rocket scientist for this, versus waiting till you get back, this is what I was told, waiting till they get back to the office. But I communicated perfectly clear, like that's unacceptable. You're wanting to talk to me about a program. I'm telling you that I'm about to be homeless. And if you are an organization who is nonprofit and funded to care and attend to populations such as myself, then it's customer service to try to see what other ways you can help, if even you cannot help in that way. It wouldn't be useful to wait till you get back to the office. It was a blatant display of false. Nobody don't care about nobody talking about, oh, I hate you going through this. No, you don't, because apparently, no, you don't. It's false. It's fake compassion. It's a performance. And want you to answer all their questions, to not provide you shit. And then when they do provide you shit, even when they have ill will and hidden dishonor from providing shit, they want you to become some kind of weirdo praise and worshiper. when they're being funded. That's how they became a nonprofit, or else they ain't nobody gonna have no job if they ain't want to be bothered. This is intentional. So they're going behind, they're doing intimidation tactics using the county. The orange sports car that's always following me around, in which I finally got their license plate. And the last few days, like I said, they done been showing their ass, but this time I've been stopping to catch some of them so that I'll have something to reference as I'm filing RICO. To catch all of these patterns. One time is plausible. 2 times, okay. 3 times you have established a pattern. So every hotel, motel, there's always some weird behavior, not initiated by us. Some street theater. To buy time, these people, some, okay, I can't speak of all of the employees, but many, they know full well who they are and what they're doing. And what they've been doing to me and my son. And what's been taken and stolen, and what they're concerned about with that. Because like I said, they have been breaking in our mail in Texas. They're going in our units, cutting up shit, putting shit, taking shit. Stole my son's EBT card. Not lost, was stolen. We didn't have company and friends, so that's not a possibility. The only other motherfuckers that would show up inside of them units would be management and a team and corrupt authority. And whoever else that they gave permission to do so. Now, as I came out to do this discussion, if you all are wanting to know, everybody started coming out the woodworks. Managers left offices, bitches got niggas, bitches got in cars, niggas, security, bitch, motherfuckers started, yeah, the whole time. Code members are on the property. Like I said, what motherfucker with a Tesla and a Mercedes? The only exception to that would be an owner. But guess what? The owner may have very well been contacted by the occult. Right now, they're trying to scan my energy and do a whole lot of stuff. I really don't care at this point. But I'm going to speak calmly and intelligently about what's actually happening. I was saying about 25 minutes ago that last night I went to a liquor store that is near the vicinity of the Motel 6 on Tennessee and Colton. Okay? Now, it was during regular, it wasn't that it was late. It was approximately, if you want a timestamp, it was around 9 p.m.-ish time. So it wasn't something like some very late or odd, weird hours, okay? I need to throw that out there. I walked and one of the owners, the female, she's standing there. She's possibly a cult member, I don't know, or a Fusion Center employee, or was contacted because she's standing there in front of her door with the door closed, mad dogging me, possibly trying to get eye contact so they can siphon. But I'm already hip to that, so I refused. Because the gentleman did some weird code signal with his arm once I got in there. And they looking at me like I'm all weird. 140 pounds. 140 pounds. Ain't nothing too abnormal and unusual that should warrant that kind of behavior. They got thugs walking in places like this 24/7. And I bet you they ain't acting like that then. Bet. Thugs that's possibly can rob their whole ass. Shoot them up. But I bet you they ain't looking at them like that. They ain't operating that odd, hostile behavior. Like they got a problem, because see, their people are being paid to be a problem. Do you understand? Are you catching on yet? It's a part of the irritation torture program bullshit. You caught on yet? When you're looking for sense and logic in a program that's illogical, you're wasting your time. That's the problem with some of you out there. Why it's so hard for you to fathom, because you're looking for logic in a program and a system that is illogical. It's to cause exhaustion. This is a RICO case. Intentional operations to cause emotional stress and unrest and unjust and undue cost is intentional, and it is a felony. And it's a felony no matter who is executing the damn behavior. Whether they got money, whether they don't, whether they're wealthy and rich and famous, whether they're not, and whether or not they are part of the government. So that they could attempt to get some kind of power of attorney over my son and over me in the long haul. Or get us caught up, get me caught up. That's what's been this whole orchestrated circus, street theater shit show that they're conducting every day. Allied security is involved. You know how I know? I'm gonna tell you how I know Allied security. I met a manager in Beaumont, Texas of Allied security. I have his card. And I might come on and screenshot that and show y'all that information, depending on how I feel. As he came up to me one day, as the people that have been stalking me, when we try to get information and data to see why the fuck are you following me around? Why the fuck are you stalking me? What's wrong with you? Are you on crack? Are you special needs? Did you just get off the short yellow bus? What is it? Are you a criminal? Are you a lunatic? Nobody cares. There's a little penis syndrome people. They're doing their little hand signals. They're doing all this shit now. Tennessee and Colton Avenue, Redlands, California. Code members, stalkers, illegal surveillancers, fusion centers, Coco's parking lot, Papa John's, Ford car dealership, Aries Hotel, Motel 6, because they are watching me on social media and being cued and messaged as I come outside. I know exactly what I'm doing, and I already knew that. Doing their chants, incants for those that are part of the cult, their sprinkles, their mudras, their whatever the fuck. Doing rituals on me and my son all night. Sending people here to do that. Like I said, ex-cons, addicts, why? So that I'm not comfortable, to attempt to make me as uncomfortable as possible. Making noise, which I don't care. I ain't in Texas now. I can give two flying fucks. They can do cartwheels, enchants, splits. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They are going to pay punitive damages, though, for causing unjust, undue emotional unrest for my son and me, while trying to make it look like it's something that I'm doing, or that I'm not doing. Make us sick, then make it seem like I don't know how to take care of us. Put shit in there to bite us, and then make it seem like, yeah, that kind of thing. They're trying to cause emotional and physical harm to my son and me. And every effort that I make, every attempt that I make is being sabotaged. When you have this level of surveillance, you shouldn't have to be a rocket scientist or even have a high IQ to be able to put those pieces together that way. And the world is not dealing with those types of things on the regular, so they take everything like, everybody's got problems. Everybody is trauma. Everybody is no, and no. Everybody ain't being illegally surveilled. Everybody is not having their human and civil rights violated by those who are supposed to be upholding that for their U.S. citizens. Everybody is not experiencing that. Corruption going around lying about them with fake profiles. Everybody is not experiencing that. Authority attempting to bully and intimidate by their presence. Everybody is not going through that. So wrong. Everybody is not being harassed. By crooked officials. If you are not given due process, then they have no business doing what they're doing. as they're here now. Somebody pulled around, honked. What was that supposed to be? That's what I'm saying. All of these tactics, just like yesterday, San Bernardino County, as their informant, got information from me so that they can gauge when my ride was supposed to arrive. And then next thing you know, like SWAT, what was that? To create unnecessary congestion, confusion, unrest, and stress. To say it was plausible, they showed their hand by the nature of how sloppy they went about it. They ain't gonna ever shut me up. The fact that I'm in this position and shouldn't be is why they ain't gonna ever shut me up, and I am fouling on them. And they can MK Ultra the hell out their asses. They can MK the fuck Ultra until they can't push the MK Ultra button no more. I know exactly what they're doing in real time. They can military psychological warfare tactic all they want. And they're going to pay for it as well. They have been doing this in Texas. They did it while me and my son was on the bus. They had trash ass motherfuckers there. In every place that we landed, trash ass motherfuckers there. I've seen it, I've traced it, and I've logged it, and it is absolutely not paranoia. All you need is 3 occurrences. 3. Per entity, person. All you need is 3. And I'm going to tell you now, they're all active in full effect. They're thirsty. They already knew I would be upset. They're really hoping that I would really possibly, flangle about, I'm not giving them quite the show that they want. Not quite. But they get to come, drive in circles and do weird shit. So I guess that's pretty fun for them. I am not liked by many. So I am dealing with a mixed bag of activity. I'm dealing with white supremacists, closet racist. I'm dealing with closet misogynist. I'm dealing with jealousy haters who's trolling my social media. I'm dealing with estranged, jealous family, estranged ex-lovers, and their estranged weirdos. I'm dealing with extremist groups, extreme religious people who are not supposed to be abusing their religion with any program that they're running. That's a part of being a nonprofit. You're not supposed to be doing that. Yeah, you can be Christian based, you can be Catholic based, you can be, but if you're getting funding, from the government, yeah, you're supposed to be servicing all populations equally. These people lack conscience and morals. They're torturing my son while trying to make it seem like it's something I'm not doing. There's something wrong with these people. And it is something wrong with this entire organization and all that are jumping on board to do it. Telling people to not talk to me, paying people to not talk to me, paying people to avoid me. In some cases, trying to spook them. If that doesn't work, trying to spook them with some false narratives. These are people that are upset, some from Texas, because I escaped their murderous plans. They're poison all the things that they have been doing to me and my son. These are people who partook in some stuff with my relatives and exes and some famous people that I knew once upon a time. This is a mixed bag of things that is going on. And they don't like me talking. Because they know I know the truth of what they've been doing to me and my son. And how some of these people got their fame, got their fortune, got whatever it is they got, how they suddenly came up, how they suddenly this and they suddenly that. They know that I know about the blood on their hands to go up in ranks in these cults. And they're doing death and voodoo on me and my son throughout the country and beyond. They're going traveling the world to do it. And then they're having two-bed motherfuckers, garage version, do it wherever we land. And these things happen slowly. They manifest in the form of odd sicknesses and all sorts of things. So that it looks like you just had a tragedy or you just had misfortunate sickness, as they manufacture unnecessary stress, which on the long haul can create physical sickness and issues, which as a result can create so that they can then say, so they can be fat cats driving their Teslas, their trucks, their Beamers, their Mercedes, off of the blood of my son and me and many like us. And think that it's cute with a narcissistic smirk on their face. soulless beings that pretends in front of you like they're philanthropists, leaders, teachers, integral businessmen and women, county employees, federal employees, acting like that's what they are as they stalk and harass my son and me. As they sit up there and do weird and be weird regarding my son and me. But their brother, sister, patriarch, their brother, sister, super saved, their brother, sister, spiritual, their brother, sister, philanthropist, their brother, sister, hashtag boss vibes. As they are equally okay with putting my son in this situation. And then by way of trying to covertly coerce what they want me to do with him, because they want control over him. So we're going to mess with and withhold resources and options as to force her hand to put him in some kind of shit that she won't get to have any kind of say or any kind of view to see what the fuck is going on with her own kid. That's what they're doing. And I know that, like I said, I'm going to keep calling out shit, and I got to go because what time is it? I got some Rico shit to get on top of. Like I said, if I, and many like myself, what they're wanting that to even look like is if we don't then put our kid or disabled kid in these institutions, if we don't do that, then we look like we're a bad parent. We look like we're negligent. It's not a game, it's not a joke, and it's not cute. It's not a game, it's not a joke, it's not cute. It's an embarrassment. Me and my son are U.S. citizens. This is an embarrassment. It's not cute. It's not something to be proud of. It's not something to be waving the American flag on as if this is something to be proud about. It's not patriotism. This is terrorism to one's own citizens. And allowing it by proxy. Because as I said the other night, I'm not convinced that you mean to tell me investigations that have possibly could have been going on since I was a kid or for some years now. You mean to tell me that they ain't powerful enough? You mean to tell me that they're not powerful enough, or they don't have enough data? I'm not convinced. They watching me too damn close for anybody to not have all of the information that's needed to persecute the real perps. They do the sabotage of all this to burn out our resources as well. Because as they are buying time, pretending to provide service and care, and pretending to, have this available and that available, and that you just got to do this process and you just got to talk to this one. As they do that, so because I'm going to help you all understand how they're creating, where it looks like they're not creating it. That's how they do that. Because life is happening in real time, and the more you cause process, or the more you cause misunderstanding, the more you cause those things, this is time moving. By nature of such, it creates a delay. And one after the other, on top of what would be the natural process in the first place. And so then what is happening in real time with all of that? If the person already have minimum resource to begin with, they're happening to live. They have incidentals. They got to get Lyft rides, Uber rides. If they're in hotels and motels, they have to have an unconventional living, unconventional shopping, unconventional, they're not in a conventional situation, so that they're happening to basically accommodate for that, which creates more money spent, no? Because under normal conditions, without all the stressors, without all of the distractions, without all of the things that their circus, shit show circus, the street theater that they're manufacturing every day, outside of that, you get to otherwise budget. This is what trips me out about all these so-called programs that want to sit across the desk and talk to you about, that's what I said, it's fake. Talk to you about resume writing or about job searching and about budgeting, as if the reason why you in your situation, it's like that ain't why some people in a situation, especially in our case. We want to make sure that you have the proper skills. I possibly got more skills than you. Sometimes that's not what it's about. It ain't always about that. Oh, they need to know how to better manage. And they need to, not to say that we don't need development or help. I'm simply saying it's fake. It's just to have some paper so that these programs will continue to be willing to give them money. It's fake. It's like, okay, I just told you we're survivors of domestic violence. I just told you we're being stalked and harassed. I just informed you that this is happening and that I got pictures, videos, footage, data to prove it. I just explained the trauma, and you want to talk to us about budgeting, resume writing, when you can't even manage to remedy helping them with stability. It's bogus. It's bullshit. So why is someone traumatized that's sitting there telling you, it's like they're dead in the eyes. It's like they're dead. Dead eyes. Unconscious, disconnected. Because they're sitting there telling you, and it's almost like it's just going like this, right over their head, over their head, over the head. They still want to sit up there and talk about resumes. And it's like, I am in trauma. I am being harassed. I'm being stalked. They won't leave us alone. I'm trying to take care of myself and take care of my kid. We have escaped a cult. They're sabotaging my efforts. So you want to send me on a 211 egg hunt and calling resources that are often outdated. That's what they're doing to my son and me, and many others that are like us. Creating false reports. I told you all what they did the other day. That's something else that they do. Lying to authority, and some authority lying to people, but lying to authority figures such as the Department of Aging and blah, 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 blah. Lying. Under so-called concern. Lying. While simultaneously sending weirdos his direction intentionally. While simultaneously knowing full well that business is never conducted with him from the start, and it shouldn't be conducted with him at any given point. Knowing full well in terms of asking questions and certain things. From the jump, it's me, and throughout the entire time, it's me. This whole orchestrated and then arguing with him. That's why I say, well, who's special needs? Who disabled then? Because who the fuck sits there and argues with a disabled person that's a full-grown nigga bitch with a job? That's not a misunderstanding. That was intentional to aggravate a disabled person and then to aggravate his mother. Motel 6, Redlands, California, Tennessee, and Colton. Migrating every fucking place it was happening at Budget Inn, Riverside, Roadway Inn, Ontario, Heritage Inn, San Bernardino. Motel 6, Redlands. These are all the entities I will be filing. All I need is 3 occurrences, and I have it. And I was gonna wait, but as I told this person I was talking to a few hours ago, I said, this is not gonna work. They're gonna make sure that I can't stabilize. They're gonna sabotage my efforts, so I have to file now. I need to talk to somebody to do it now. I don't have time for focus group. I don't have time for paying for no lawyer. I need to file on them now. Because I need to put the heat on their names, on their businesses, and their associations now. Because they're trying to force homelessness on me and my son. They isolate any efforts that I make to reach out to people. In some cases, some of the people that I reach out to are nothing but a bunch of old haters that's immature and looking for some lick back. You know what I'm saying? That's some of it. That's some of it. The other shit is, you know, they might be a religious zealot and it's like, ooh, my gosh, you know, we got to have 5 prayer meetings and, you know, oh my gosh. But they're helping killers every day of their damn life. Cha! Pedophiles, pervs, stalkers, you name it. People that'll take an EBT card from a disabled person, sit up there and argue with a disabled person. Going behind me, spinning a story, doing spells on my son. Every time I make phone calls and stuff like that, they play with my son's energy. Every time. Every time I'm getting in thinking mode and they start getting nervous, because I guarantee you, when I go back inside, they're going to be nervous. Right now, they're feeling good because they have visual. And they're doing their spells and signals and circling around and doing the shit that they do, their chants and sprinkles and all that good old stuff. But when I go in, and depending on how long that is, they get real nervous. So what they do is, in the name of trying to keep me not able to think clearly, because this is all, like I said, this is all a part of the trying to create emotional unrest so that one can't think clearly, and so that one can possibly get sick, and so that one can follow clear intuition, because we are not designed to have to live in hypervigilance. And so they are trying to manufacture and create it by their bullshit. So that, in that sense, creating the sabotage in that, because nobody can be on top of everything. And now one of these bitches capable of being on top of everything if they are able to be even remotely honest for 5 minutes. And I'm talking about the ones that walk around with their chest stuck out and on swole like ostriches. I'm talking about them too. Under the same conditions and circumstances, no one has it together and on top of it all the time under such conditions. Something is bound to crack somewhere, no matter how smart and diligent and on top of things somebody is. They know it full well. This is why they're always nervous when they think they see me going to a park, they see me tree hugging. You would think it's the fucking end time apocalypse, the matter of meth heads and zombies come out of the woodworks. You would think it was the fucking end time. You would think I done broke the damn law. The way 5-0 and helicopters and all this shit suddenly seemed to manifest. The way they get to acting. And that's because they get nervous when they think I'm able to get into a meditative state. So if their spell work is not working on me, they'll try to get my son riled up and trigger him in some kind of way. If they don't have a visual, so that they can feel comfort of knowing where I am. This is why they want me walking, because it gives them an illusionary sense of control. But when they can't see me, and if I get on the phone to make business calls, or if I'm on the phone with somebody that's seeming to listen or relate. Next thing you know, I'll see my son, his energy, for seemingly no reason, out of nowhere. And that's not his disability. That's not autism. And it's not even just parasites, because there's going to be some highfalutin educates out there that's going to say something about that. I'm aware about nutritional parasites and how even with Morgellons, the Morgellons disease and what they call the Morgellons rage, I'm even aware of that. Bet you they didn't know that. But that's not what this is. It's not going to be on cue. See, when things are organic and natural, you're not going to find a pattern of when it is inflated or flares up, because it's organic. It has nothing to do with an externalized event in the sense of somebody made a phone call. Somebody is going to be organic to whatever its natural triggers are, whether it be the person's tired, hungry, and you'll be able to see that patterning. That's not what's happening. They also do stuff to my son to make folks, humans are humans, and they want to discourage people like, oh, that's their burden. Like, that's going to be, like, that's what they did to him. Don't worry. We're dealing with it. But I'm going to continue to express we are being sabotaged. This did not stop as we left Texas. It originated in California, followed me to Nevada, amplified in Nevada with my toxic, crazy co-family and exes, and then followed me to Texas and followed me back to California. That's why this has been unusually and unnaturally difficult. We've been out here for a month, and I have attempted to do all of the processes and things in which I had been given guidance and advice to do by all of these various organizations. I've been possibly more diligent than 90% of their consumers. So this ain't got nothing to do with that. This don't have nothing to do with laziness. This has nothing to do. This don't even have nothing to do with process. This is interference. Passive, aggressive, coercive interference by anyone who is low-lifey enough to fuck with it. People don't like me. They think I'm a bitch because of how I'm talking even right now. There are some that are involved with this stuff that don't like me. They troll me on my social media, pretending to not do that, first and foremost. Trolling me on my social media, pretending to not do that, and they don't like me. They form judgments and opinions, which gets them on the hate train because of how I talk. But the way this world is set up is backwards. The abusee is always attacked when they react. They're always attacked when they start to experience reactive abuse, or when they start to speak out on the atrocities and speak it with whatever. Now, the powers that be feed off of it. They love it. We're not going to lean too much into that. They actually, that's some loose there, baby. Okay? That's some loose. Good old loose, hitting that vein, bitch, hitting that vein. So that's that whole suffrage, you see what I'm saying? That suffrage program, that the torture and shit. So they vibing off that, they feeling that. Okay, but then there's There are some others that, that they end up employing or getting to come on that actually they don't like it because, again, the collective, we get coined as a bitch because we saying some shit that's making some people go, damn. You know what I'm saying? Damn, like that. Did this bitch just say this nigga, this shit? Damn, kind of vibe. But it's warranted. Nobody would be doing that if somebody has some vile things to say about their rapist. Be honest for 5 minutes. For 5 fucking minutes. Take off of the facade, the veneer, and the mask. For 5 minutes, no one would be saying a person is a bitch if they had some choice words to say about their racist. The racist, the rapist, somebody who executed cruel and inhumane behavior towards them. Nobody will be saying, oh, that's a bitch. Did you hear what she said about her rapist? Dang, that was disrespectful. Dang, that was sacrilegious. Did you hear what she called him? Did you hear all them cuss words? What she said about her rapist? Dang, I don't like her shit. Yes, sign me up for Project Psychotic Stalker Crazy Bitch, pretending to be Private Eye. Sign me up. She is disrespectful. I cannot believe. John, do you believe what you heard out of her mouth about her rapist? About the one that raped her kid? About the one who was harassing her disabled son? By the one who did sex rituals on her disabled son? Did you hear the choice words that came out of her mouth? The words she had to say about the ones who poisoned her son? The words she had to say about those who were arguing with her son? Did you see her body language? Did you see her put up the middle finger, how vile she is to the ones who are stalking her illegally, trying to get a reaction out of her? Do you see how disrespectful she is? Do you see how crude she is? John, this is an atrocity. We need to shut her down. This is a blasphemy, as she spoke so vilely of her abuser, as the one who stole her inheritance in her home and put her and her children in harm's way, all to make it look like she don't know how to stabilize. Did you hear that, John? We don't like her. She thinks she better than as she talks so vilely about those who stalk her. As she expressed how she feel about us playing in her face. We need to shut this down. Who do they think they are? Speaking vilely of us about our abuse on her. Who does she think she is? Telling about the theft and the harassment and the poison and the lies and the games and the tricks and the manipulation to ruin their life. Who does she think she is? What disrespectfulness. John. John, I need you to get ahead of it and make this go away, John. She is disrespecting. She is disrespecting our proud stuff, John, as she talks about our thievery ways. As she tell about people doing voodoo santeria, Caribbean root work, making their kids sick, sacrificing their kid. What an atrocity, John. Linda, how dare they? Let's drive in circles fast, bitch. Call all of the corrupt cops. Call all of the corrupt security. Call all of the corrupt authority figures to bully her. To evoke fear. Pretending to be on other business matters. Just so happened to actually happen at the exact minute down to the second. How dare she? Such foul language. Such foul language as she talks about our foul behavior, our racism, our prejudice, our misogyny. Such foul behavior as she talks about our hypocrisy and double standards as we make concessions for ourselves and our people, but then have the audacity to want to criticize and evaluate her life. How dare she? As we are sitting here breaking the law, creating a federal offense, and talk about her. So-called evaluating her. As we're breaking the U.S. law ourselves. How dare she talk of us in such manner? How dare she tell she's unfit mother. She's unfit. We need to watch her life, her choices, and her spending as we commit felonies. As we abuse funding for our own agenda, we need to evaluate her spending. As we are trying to fight to keep money so we can be fat cats that we're not using properly, we need to evaluate her life choices. Her spending habits, how she's handling her son's money while we steal from her and her son. So I'm dealing with retaliatory behavior because people don't like me. People who pretend to not watch me online watch me more than my actual fans. And they don't like me. And under normal circumstances in life, we all have people that we necessarily maybe don't like. But not all of us are nuts upstairs though. So not all of us ends up leaning into these corrupt enterprises as a result of not liking somebody. Some of us know how to adult it. I don't like this person. I don't like their content. I don't like what they're saying. I don't like their opinions and views. I don't like their beliefs. I don't like their brand of presentation. I don't like their vulgarness. Most of us know how to adult it and simply opt. Oh, hi, Del Puede. Oh, you get it, boo-boo. Oh, I see it. I see you, see the boo-boo. You're so pretty. Yeah, you want to stay away from the weirdness. Most of us know how to adult it. And we simply won't watch this person's content. You know, we possibly will block them because we don't want them to, you don't want them to show up in your news feed or your page or whatever. And you're like, oh, this offends, And that's what most relatively normal and healthy people do. They don't become the stalkers and the abusers and the criminal violators of those they don't like. That's indicative of something is not right upstairs with a people, a group. And people take offense to that. You see it? There goes Linda calling John again, taking offense to that, versus taking offense to their behavior to warrant it. I gotta go. I'm at an hour 33:58. So I got some follow-up to do, some online things to do. Once again, they are attempting to stop me and my son from getting proper resources that are honorable to the both of us, resources that are fitting for the both of us, resources that would work for us. Once again, they're trying to prevent anybody from working with us. And this escalates every time we leave somewhere, because what happens is, whatever worked for so long and then it didn't work or it ended, then sometimes people are upset because, the gravy train ends and it's on to the next group of stalkers. It's on to the next corrupt manager, to the next corrupt landlord, to the next corrupt business owner, motel, hotel, Holiday Inn. And that surrounding area. They've blocked me from the families that are not corrupt, because as I was telling the gentleman I was talking to, there's the family is usually the roots of the problem. part of some of the major lies that have gone on. Because some of them was one that stole and wanted to fit on their fat cats sit on their fat ass, benefiting from what was not supposed to be theirs, and then lying about it and saying we crazy. But I have tried to find my son's extended people to no avail. I've tried to search. I'm talking about people that are not too tied to my toxic people. I have tried to reach out to see if me and my son can get somewhere, get some room and board in the mother-in-law quarters, something to give us some space to deal with this shit. So that I'm not doing this whole tap dancing for programs that's not really going to pan out. So that I can get a hold of it, so that I can make some charges, because I am going to file, so that I can push this thing as far and long as I have to, and then try to build once I file these charges. Because until I file these charges good and proper, this is a part of why they showing their asses the way they are. This is a part of it. Because me and my son need protective orders from corruption, not just from some stray, rando, crazy ex. Or some strange, rando, obsessed, estranged family member who wants to morph into who you are and then kill you off. They get high off of watching this little shit show. That's how pathetic these people are. That's the loosh they get. That's the agreement with the Archon. That's the agreement with these cults, these covens. That's how they get their ranks. That's why people be going gung-ho, about to kill themselves and their whole household, sitting up there doing voodoo all damn day on innocent life. And then be mad when Tiny Tim and little Shanae start looking weird in their own house. It's ignorance. It's hypocrisy. It's double standard. But these people are fucking clueless. They don't care. Some of them even thinking they helping their family. And when they find out, when this thing hits, as it's going to hit, some of these folks going to realize all they done is manage to curse them and their family.